Am I the asshole for not babysitting my siblings while my mom is on her honeymoon? A little background information is required before I begin. My mom, 52, and I, 20F, have never had a close relationship. This didn't honestly bother me because I was close to my dad, who was basically my best friend. However, my dad passed away 4 years ago. I was depressed and my mom wrapped herself in her work, and I was left to basically raise my 5 younger siblings. Although I loved them, it was never good for my mental health, and I was also stressing over my schooling and college applications. I ended up getting into my dream college, but my first year, I went to a regional campus so I could be close to my siblings, which was actually my mom's idea. My second year I moved to the main campus, which was 2 hours away. I never realized how weighed down I was by my family. My depression got so much better and I was happy and made new friends. During my senior year of HS, however, my mom decided she wanted to start dating again. I wasn't very happy as I didn't want anyone stepping in and trying to act like my dad. I had already had one. Last year though, my mom met someone and got engaged. Her fiancé is nice and she is happy, which I am glad, but some of my siblings and I are still struggling with my dad's death and it's hard. The past month she has been discussing the wedding more and more with me, which is a bit of a sensitive issue with me, which I don't think she understands. Last week she asked if I could stay the week of her honeymoon to watch my siblings. I didn't give her an answer because I really don't want to, but I didn't want to hurt her feelings. After talking with one of my brothers and my sil, they told me that I really isn't my job to watch them and I need to focus on me, as I have been much happier when I am not with them, which I know sounds horrible. I realized they are right and decided to tell my mom I couldn't babysit. The next time she called me, I told I was busy that week and would be leaving to go back to school right after the wedding, so I couldn't babysit. I hoped she would drop it, but instead she kept asking me why, and I said I had tickets to my college's football game, which was not a lie. She said that was stupid and she thought I would stay, especially since I would be on break. I realized that she had looked up my school schedule and planned her honeymoon on my fall break so I would be home. I wasn't planning on going home because I have a job and planned on working that week. After freezing me out for the first week, expecting me to cave, which would not have been the first time, she has been calling me non-stop, which I have been ignoring. I now feel bad and I don't know if I am wrong. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. My brother and sil have considered going no contact with her because she just causes stress and chaos for them. I have considered the same. I moved out over the summer and it was the decision I have ever made. PL's help. I tried to make it short, but there is so much going on and this isn't even half of it. Lol. Not the asshole. She needs to make other arrangements. And then backup arrangements, just in case. Not the asshole. Regardless of the situation, it is never good to force children into their siblings' parents. This is what she's done and still doing, and it's essentially child abuse. Do not babysit for your mom, if you, she'll never stop asking. It's time for you to live your life and for her to be a mother to your siblings. If she wants to go on her honeymoon, she needs to figure out care for your siblings and not use you as a crutch. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's not your job to watch your siblings, and it especially crappy of you, mom, to schedule it around your break to try and force the issue. I'm sorry, but I'm working and unable to stay. Don't let yourself be drawn back into her web. Am I the asshole for telling my brother I blame him and his wife for their daughter's actions? My brother has 2 kids. His son Jory is 15 and his daughter Emily is 7. Jory's mom died weeks after Emily was born. My brother and Jory's mom were long since divorced and he primarily lived with her until her death. Jory went through a lot in a very short period of time. Jory's maternal family are a very present part of Jory's life. This was something my brother and his wife disapproved of but allowed because my parents and I told them it was not about them or Emily but about Jory and how he lost his mom. Their attitude did not change and it did influence Emily somewhat, I believe. She adores Jory and is very jealous that he goes away for hours and sometimes overnight to be with his family. She's jealous that he's not someone who keeps photos but has one of his mom in his room, in a special frame. Mostly she's a little girl who wants her older, half-brother's attention. She thinks he's the greatest person in the world. But sometimes I feel like she hears too much of what her parents think. 2 months ago there was an incident at my brother's house. Jory didn't want to spend time with Emily and was reading a letter his mom wrote to him before she died. Emily pushed and was told to get out of his room. She was angry and from what I can piece together my brother and his wife did not talk her down. When Jory left the room, Emily went inside and broke the frame and tore up the photo of Jory's mom. Jory walked in as she was still tearing the photo up. Jory yelled at Emily and Emily cried and said was mad and wanted him to spend time with her, but he picked a letter over her. My brother walks in and tells Jory to stop yelling at his sister and goes to console Emily. Both my brother and his wife decide it's not a big issue. Jory disagrees and they argue. Emily went back to Jory's room later and says she's sorry, but Jory ignores her and she cried and said she just wanted him to not love his mom more. He told her he didn't love her and would always love his mom more and he would never forgive her for what she did, that he did not want her as his sister and she needed to get out of his room and not speak to him again. Things got intense between my brother and Jory left and went to stay with his maternal grandparents. My brother tried to stop him, but his wife said she didn't want Jory around Emily if he was going to be so hateful. Jory is still with his grandparents. My brother thought Jory would have seen sense and calmed down. I said he couldn't expect Jory to see it as a minor issue. My brother was like I couldn't seriously be blaming a 7-year-old for acting out the way she did. I said no, I blamed him and his wife, that they are the parents and handled it all badly and likely fed into Emily's jealousy with their attitude that Jory shouldn't see his family. I said I hold them accountable for that and then for acting like Jory had no right to be mad. My brother believes I'm the one who is wrong and being an ass to him and his wife. Am I the asshole? Jory needs to stay with his maternal grandparents where he and his belongings are respected. Living with your brother, his father, will not improve until your brother's attitude changes, and it does not sound like it will. Sound like you've been very supportive of Jory. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I feel really angry for Jory. His stepmother has zero empathy and both his parents are enabling some bloody awful behavior from Emily. You told them straight and that was the right thing to do. Not the asshole. Your brother and his wife should have intervened long ago. There's no reason they shouldn't have created an environment where it's safe and normal to remember Jory's mom as a family, and include Emily in those memories, to help Emily understand how important that is to Jory, and also to counsel Jory on how to make his sister feel included and loved. They dropped the ball on the whole deal, and Emily's reaction was cruel. She's little, but plenty old enough to be faced with the consequences of her actions, and take steps to make it up to him. Overall, your brother and his wife should be ashamed. Jory's reaction here is totally understandable. And not the asshole. You were spot on. And #X200B. Edit to add. Your Sil must be happy. Her stepson has gone away. Can clearly tell who the favored child is. Your brother and his wife are horrendous. They've enables Emily's behavior and now shocked when Jory wants nothing to do with them. Hope Jory is able to heal from this. Some extended time apart from them is probably for the best. If your brother and his wife don't adjust their behavior, they are going to lose a child. In a few years Jory will be old enough to make his own life and decisions, and I wouldn't be surprised if he chooses to cut them all out of his life. Am I the asshole? Guys slept in are apt with my knowledge. I'm away for a month on a business trip. Last night, my girlfriend had her good friend Amy sleep over. Amy's friend Josh slept on our couch because he was drunk. I met Josh one time a week ago at the bar. My girlfriend doesn't have a phone at the moment, so she walked to Amy's to see if Amy would spend the night with her. She is understandably nervous being home alone without a phone. Josh was at Amy's and my girlfriend invited them both back to our apartment. They hung out until 2 a.m. and my girlfriend invited him to sleep on the couch while she and Amy slept in our bed. This a.m., I was messaging my girlfriend at work via Facebook. She was upset that her computer had broken overnight. We messaged back and forth for a bit about her broken computer and other things. At one point, frustrated about her computer, she mentioned that perhaps Josh broke it when he slept over on our couch last night. There was no mention of Amy, only that Josh slept on the couch. At this point, I blew up because I thought it was totally unacceptable that a man who I barely know spent the night in our apartment. The conversation went like this: GF. God, this is barely working, I am so pissed. GF. What the fuck could have happened? GF. The only thing is if Amy's friend Josh, who slept on the couch last night, accidentally fucked it up somehow. Me. What the fuck, you're just gonna have guys stay over at our house and not tell me till afterwards. Me. The first night I'm gone? Me. What the fuck? GF. Amy was in bed with me? GF. It was both of them? GF. Josh is just Amy's friend, you met them the other day. GF. Why does it matter if Amy's friend is sleeping on the couch cuz they don't want to drive drunk? My position. If a man who neither of us knows well at all is going to spend the night at our apartment, she should tell me about it. She had been messaging me earlier, we talked earlier, over Facebook, and she left her computer on the coffee table in the living room where they were hanging out. I don't think it seems like that much work to just open her computer and let me know that he is spending the night. 30 seconds. I had no clue anyone spent the night last night. Then she nonchalantly mentions that Josh spent the night. There was no mention of Amy sleeping over previously. Then she immediately minimizes it. I was with Amy. Josh is just Amy's friend. Why does it matter? Her position. I'm being controlling. She says I am like an overprotective father, and that I want her to get my permission before she does anything. How I could be the asshole. She is allowed to make decisions on her own, and she doesn't need to let me know everything she does. She didn't hide it from me because she mentioned it the next day. I put her on the defensive by being so aggressive with my, "what the fuck," response. Finally, I want to be clear that I have no problem with drunk people staying on our couch. It's hospitable and is a good way to prevent drunk drivers. There was no mention of Amy sleeping over previously. You didn't give her much of a chance, did you? She introduced him as Amy's friend. You could have assumed Amy was there too, or at least asked. In any case, he was on the couch. How is she supposed to know you want to be asked or informed when someone sleeps on the couch? Would you be upset if Amy slept on the couch without your knowledge? You're the asshole? You are the asshole. It appears she did nothing wrong by allowing someone to crash and the female friend slept in her room. You blew up, which is a bit understandable by the way you learned of this. But I also think it's unreasonable to expect of her to email you at 2 a.m. You do sound like a controlling father. I assume she's an adult and she knows how to be safe without you trying to get the minute-by-minute play of what's happening. You are the asshole. What about some decent respect for telling your other half someone will stay over? What's wrong with that? No one loses with that. Like you are the asshole as you say yourself. She didn't hide it from you, she immediately told you OT the next day. They made the decision at 2 a.m. Sorry, but most people won't think about opening their computer just to explain the situation at that time.